What's up, everybody? It's your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, man. Getting into your real raw rugged, and so sorry I can't bring you to FaceTime call. My MacBook messing up, but hey, man, like the Breakfast Club say, we got a special guest in the building. But I'm gonna introduce himself, man. Who we got?
Lorenz Tate the Third, aka Thelonious Martin.
Hey, man, we got the goat in the building, man. Before we even get to the interview, I want to introduce myself to him on how long I've been knowing about him, man. First of all, the first time I ever heard about you, you produced the song "Go" by Mellow High, and that was my first time hearing. And I was like, damn, I was like, this nigga, like, I'm just honest with my head. I was like, this nigga's a nobody, but this beat is crazy. So I tweeted you, and I said, damn, bruh, how you got this beat to them? And you gave me just a very simple answer. You said, I emailed it to him. I was like, oh, never mind, this nigga must be popping, man. I was like, yeah, I'm thinking you got down making beats in the basement and sitting next. I just emailed it to him. I'm like, oh, shit, okay, you got the email. So yeah, that was crazy.
Those are the homies. I had known Hodgy essentially since like the first Odd Future show on the East Coast. Like I downloaded Tyler's debut album the day it came out. Needless to say, I was a fan of him early, like a lot of people caught on to it. And so me and Hodgy connected off the fact that he was from Jersey. I was in Jersey at the time. We were sending beats back and forth. I was on his Untitled EP. I had 2 joints on there.
Really?
And from there, yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite project by him. I didn't know that.
Yeah, with that joint by Flying Lotus, that Lately joint.
Lately, y'all been, yeah. What else? That's crazy. That's my favorite song on there.
And so I did 2 joints on there, and from there, me and him have been tight, even to this day. That's my man. And so, yeah, I think I just sent randomly Hodgy some new beats, and next thing I know, I look up and him and Damo hopped on it.
Was that your first big placement? Because I don't think Untitled EP was out at that moment, was it?
I think it was either before or after. I mean, I don't remember what year that was. That was
2012. 2012. That was 2012.
Yeah, and I mean, then Polo Sporting Goods dropped the next year, so.
How, my fault, what you saying?
I'm trying to think, like, in terms of, like, big placements, I can't really gauge it. It's kind of been like a coast. It hasn't really been, like, too much up and down. I mean, the biggest placement I have is the ASAP Rocky record. That's like my first, like, major label, paperwork, royalties, like, for real placement. Everything else has been kind of a coast in the sense where it's like, I had a song with Action Bronson on it, I got a song with Absco on it, we'll have a song with Cameron and Smoke Dizza. It hasn't really been like, or even the songs I do with Mac Miller, it's just like, you know, to me it's just songs. It's not really like something I look at like spikes and accomplishments. This is all the things I feel as I should be doing. And I need to improve upon. So I don't really look at it like, oh, this is my big placement. Because a lot of times when you do that as a producer, you kind of like hark up on that and only, you know, look at this one thing that you have instead of trying to continuously make more music.
I definitely agree with that because I would say, to kind of compare it, I would say my first, big interview, like major interview was Lil B. And at that point, I was like, I got to interview Lil B. I don't have to do anything else the rest of my life. And I feel like that's a bad way to think because you get kind of stagnant at that point. You know, I feel like you should think that you're supposed to get that, but like you said, and you're supposed to try to achieve for milestones, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was watching some interview with TED Talk, and the guy was basically saying, like, a lot of people wait for inspiration. And instead of waiting for inspiration, what you should be doing is creating regardless. And then inspiration will come.
Can you?
That's kind of how I try to approach things. I kind of look at things now more so than ever, where it's like, all right.
Can you recommend any TED Talks out there for the people? Because I cannot look at a TED Talk. Like, they just seem too bland and dry for me. Any TED Talks that you like?
I always watch TED Talks by people you kind of recognize. Like, Bobito Garcia has a good TED Talk where he's just telling his story and kind of how he's achieved success through all these different formats. I'm trying to think what other. I watch random. It's not just TED Talks though. It'll be like random motivational shit. Like, I remember watching this one. He would talk about how successful do you want to be, and he was talking about you should want to be successful as much as you want to breathe. And little stuff like that, stuff that like my pops would tell me as a shorty, little stuff. It's really a little bit from everywhere. You take inspiration of things that push you a little bit further. Where you can get them.
Okay, well, I mean, speaking of like, I guess like the makeup of you, I feel like people like you, Madlib, Kanye, people who take like just very abstract beats or abstract vocal samples and just flip it. I feel like you as a person have to just be like just very interesting or smart or in depth. So just you as a person, just let people know like things about you like outside of music, like what type of hobbies are you into? You like sports, like do you like TV shows, movies, like just stuff people would probably never guess about you.
I secretly want to go into stand-up comedy.
You secretly want to go into comedy?
Yeah, like one day I'm gonna go do some open mics and
Okay.
see how it works. If it turns out cool and I'm good at it, I might like try to pursue it.
I could see it, bro. I could see it because I definitely have like I said, like I've been following on Twitter for a minute, and I just see you always roasting niggas. I remember you said this one nigga looked like he slapbox Haitians for turkey bacon. Like I was like, that's crazy.
I occasionally will roast somebody in my mentions, or just if some funny shit happens, I'll talk about it. I don't know. I've always been a person that's kind of like want to laugh all the time. Like I don't really like when people kind of like mad serious for no reason and like act real tough. It's like I like to laugh. So if I fuck with you, I'm gonna roast the shit out you, or like we'll laugh and have a good time. If I don't fuck with you, I'm not cracking no jokes. Like I'm not really gonna talk to you. I'm not really gonna engage you. If I fuck with you, I'm definitely like, yo, good. Like your shoes look like that.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Like if I see one of my friends in a minute, first thing I do when I see them is flame them upon on sight.
That's crazy because as soon as I got on FaceTime with you and you seen the bonnet, I was expecting something to get something crazy. I was like, oh, this nigga finna try to kill my ass. So yeah, I mean that's how it should be.
I thought about it. I didn't know how to react. I genuinely didn't know how to react. React about it. Like that was the last thing I was expecting.
That's crazy because like every time I FaceTime somebody for an interview, I'm thinking off the top of my head like they probably think I'm like some weird white guy with glasses or something, and then I come up with this big ass bonnet in the green room. Niggas like, what the fuck? So I always just think like, what's a nigga reaction?
You got pimp perm? Like, why is there a bonnet? Do you have a pimp perm?
Nah, I don't have a pimp perm. I feel like niggas don't know. Like I see you rocking the number one baldy. Niggas with hair, man, or people with hair in general, silk is healthy for your hair. People don't know that. So
this dog. If I could have a silk face wrap for my beard, I would have it.
You need to, bro. They need. I mean, like, fucking get a goddamn Versace scarf, bro. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's healthy for your shit, bro.
I had a scarf around my head like I got some mumps or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly how you do it, bro. Well, I mean, just speaking about comedy, are you into like I was like TV shows and movies, like any comedy shows and movies that like you just really love? It could be old or new.
Currently, like my favorite comedian writing and just like actual comedy wise, Jared Carmichael.
Okay, I heard his show is good. I never seen it. I haven't got a chance to see it. I heard it's good though.
His stand-ups are really, really good. His pacing of jokes reminds me a lot of Mitch Hedberg, and obviously his views on racism and different things kind of reminds people of Dave Chappelle. So it's kind of a blend of certain elements of comedy that I really fuck with, and just like just what he's talking about, I find super relevant. I think other comedians, Michael Chase stand-up was really raw. Neil Brennan's, if people haven't seen it.
Three mics thing, right? The three mics thing, right?
Yeah,
that's
Neil Brennan's.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Yeah, he's fire.
Also, Deion Cole. Deion Cole, hands down, from the crib, from Chicago.
Just interview him. That's a cool nigga. Just interview him. He's a cool guy.
Deion Cole. He on Netflix, they did this 6 stand-up. They did stand-up series.
Mm-hmm.
His, out of the 6, is the funniest by a landslide.
It was fire. It was fire because that was the one where he was talking about you can't lose weight around black people too quick, right?
Yeah, no, I did actually lost weight around black people too quickly, and people thought I was on cocaine.
Nigga, my mama, nigga, you lose weight around mama. She on crack. I'm like, no, maybe she's been in the gym. Like, why she got to be on crack? Like, that's the number one go to thing. So I agree. Deion Cole shit was fire. His shit was fire. I definitely agree. Oh, well, speaking of Chicago niggas, you and Deion Cole, I know you're from Chicago. How is it? How is it growing up there?
Uh, it's actually pretty rough. I split my time between Chicago and Jersey. So like my mom moved me out to Jersey when I was like 5 or 6. So I was going to school out there, but every summer I would come back to Chicago. So I actually had pretty cool. I could split time between you on the East Coast, go to New York, and summertime I'll be in Chicago.
Well, I'm a Florida nigga, and I actually look at Florida, Chicago, and LA as like black people specifically. I feel like we relate better than than most people because like I find it hard from as a Florida dude to relate to somebody from New York because they act so different and it's just like I can't rock with it. So like, have you ever met anybody from Florida that you got the same vibe from? Like, oh, this could definitely be a Chicago nigga or something like that.
Actually, one of my best friends right now is from Polk County.
Exactly.
My man Sway, he moved up here recently. He signed what's the name of the label? I can't remember the name of the label, but he's a label mate with Xavier Omar. He's a really good dude, really great rapper. Reminds me a lot of Fonte, which when I tell people that they if you really into rap, you'll like understand like that's a very, very big compliment.
Yeah.
Like without Fonte there's no Drake. Without Fonte there's not a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He's a blueprint for a lot of new artists today. But yeah, he's from one of my best friends from Polk County, from Florida. I got family from the South. I mean, I'm from Chicago, so there's a lot of people here in Chicago. Their grandmas from Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, things like that. So I fuck with people from the South. Yeah, I got a certain kind of like charm in the way y'all like hospitable is mad, like really easy going. A lot of times, like my time on the East Coast, a lot of people very fast paced, like really rude. Like
Really?
Like let's say you get on the bus or whatever. And you short like $1 or some shit. Dude, like, yo, just go to the back. You're like, being there yelling, like, yo, just go to the back. You're like, I don't know if he's being nice or he's being just rude, but actually he's being really nice. So, like, that's just how New York is. Like, LA people is mad laid back, kind of almost too chill. You think something's gonna happen because it's too relaxed. Right? You're like,
Yeah.
something's gonna down. Like, oh no, yeah, you smoke, you high. Oh my bad.
But Chicago, but like places like Chicago and Florida, they had a nice, not too fast, not too slow feel to it.
Yeah, man, it's perfect pace. Perfect pace to me. It's fast, it's slow. Fast during business hours, slow during the night or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, to get into your music a little bit, like I said, I've been peeping you out for a little minute, and I was listening to your last album you put out, and I know it's like a little skit or interview. I don't know exactly what it is, but you basically talking about like you was put on because you have a big Adult Swim influence. You were saying you was put on to like Adult Swim type music or Jay Dilla type music by your mom and them, saying listen to D'Angelo and stuff like that. So I was just trying to get a better gauge, like what were you listening to growing up, like from like your mom and stuff playing music.
yeah, so my mom definitely had Aquarian, just everybody from Aquarian playing all the time. We talking Jill Scott, D'Angelo, Erykah Badu, Roots was heavily bumped in the crib. My mom had she gave me Black on Both Sides when they came out. What else? Outkast. It was anything that had it was real vibey and wavy back then. My mom was definitely hit to and had to go early. And so, by bumping like D'Angelo or Erykah and other cats like that, I was inadvertently, without knowing or reading credits yet, listening to Dilla and really fucking with it. And so when I took it upon myself to actually, there's a time period where you listen to music because your parents listen to it. There's a time period when you actually start to, all right, I like this artist because of reading, album credits and stuff like that. We actually take it upon yourself to be interested. And so when I started to do that, I started to find music by Dilla, the Adult Swim, and go back to read credits and be like, oh shit, oh yeah, that's dude. I begged my mom to buy me a laptop so I can start making beats just like him. That's kind of how
that came about. Yeah. Well, I mean, you were talking about your mom putting you on Erica Badu and Jill Scott and people like that. It's like '90s R&B. And I personally think what I'm gonna ask you is the hardest musical question of all time because I can't think of anything music related it's a more difficult question to answer in my opinion. And that's which period of music do you think is better, '90s R&B or '70s soul?
Oh, 70 so about landslide.
Landslide.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably for others it'd be a quite difficult question, but you're talking to a person that consistently digs.
I know. That's why I asked you. Yeah, because I know you sample a lot of '70s stuff.
So, I mean, the '90s obviously it's a beautiful blend in terms of the musicians and like that music swing and all types of different like hip hop sounding R&B. It's real dope. Give a lot of credit to it, but I'm still finding records from the '70s
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like soul records where it's like I didn't know this existed. This is incredible. The thing is, like back then, like you heard a crazy like string section or some horns, that meant they had to go in there and play that shit. It wasn't like, or it wasn't, somebody on a keyboard playing like some analog or some digital sounds or whatever. Like we talking, all right, I need 4 dudes. They got Jerry curl. I'm playing. I need 3 singers with afros the size of the moon.
Yeah.
To come sing for our harmony. Like this is like for real. Like I just think me personally, there's a buildup of it, and how it was made. For me, at least, puts it just slightly over the top. I won't say by a landslide, but just slightly over the top, where it's like, yo,
see, I'm gonna tell you why I can see where you're coming from. There's 2 main reasons why, if I was to have to argue the '70s part. One being that I feel like the '90s R&B era, while it was spectacular in my opinion, I feel like that was the time where R&B started to become like more like watered down and like I want to say rap influenced that because I feel like R&B wanted to be like the rappers. So I feel like now in 2017,
and it's like a lot of like break beats and like I mean it was dope though, like the Mary J. Blige record.
yeah,
like the Monica record. This shit was dope. It's just when you have something that's like so good like that, there's gonna be a lot of filler and a lot of bullshit. And so as much as people anything from the '90s, a lot of this shit was dope. Like the R&B, the rap, like a lot of it was dope. But at the same exact time, there's a lot of stuff from the '90s that's god awful.
facts. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I was gonna say my second reason was I feel like in the '70s, I feel like black culture was like almost at its like peak, almost because everything just sounded just so everything like even from TV, like you got Good Times, the Jefferson, like everything was just so organic. And I feel like now, like if you compare like black culture then to now, it just seems so much watered down. Would you agree with that?
I mean, the number one thing to look at in terms of comparison, at least in the early '70s, is black art movement. And so we're talking Black Panther.
Yep.
So at that point in time, that's definitely peak blackness. It's right at the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little more freedom to move around, and the art definitely starts to reflect that. There's a larger community and things are coming together, and a lot of pride being taken in our culture and music. And so with that said, things are a little bit different in terms of how we're moving and grooving. It's like a lot more to the point, a lot more powerful. Like you can't compare like a Marvin Gaye to anyone currently.
Facts.
Like it's not something you can do. It's someone that's creating that time and space that's just beyond measure.
I agree. Well, to kind of like almost stick in that time period, I was gonna ask you this next, but I have to. It's not really a question. It's just I gotta say you were probably the realest nigga living for sampling Roberta Flack. I Can See the Sun in late December. I think that was the craziest thing of all time. Like I feel like she doesn't get her credit, and the fact that you sampled that was fire.
It was amazing. Stevie Wonder wrote that song for her actually.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, and the amazing part about me flipping that record is, I don't know if you realize, I used all 3 covers of that. There's a German cover, there's the Stevie cover, and then there's the Roberta cover.
I didn't even catch that. I just caught the Roberta one. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, so I used German cover of it is absolutely beautiful. I should have used it. And there's another version that Alchemist is in too. I can't remember which cover is that, but yeah, it's one of my favorite records. I flipped it a while back for Vic when we were doing like Children of the Sun, and that was like maybe like 2010, 2011, and we were like at the like 2011. And so, you know, a lot of times I'll go back and see if there's a record I could, you know, look a little bit better, or let's see if I can like freak it a different way. So I went back. I was like, oh, I got way better drums for this now. Took kind of elements from the other different samples or whatever, and kind of made what is probably one of my favorite beats I've ever made.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like I listen to stuff like that, like you, Madlib, Alchemist, like you just brought up. And my number one question is always, how do you like find these beats? Because I follow this YouTube page, and basically they'll play the sample, and then they'll show the person, or they'll show the song that sampled it. So they'll play the Roberta Flack song for like 10 seconds. Then the next 10 seconds they'll be playing your version of it. And I think like, not saying hers particularly, but like y'all just find like stuff that you'll never find like in a million years. So do you like specifically go dig in the crates, or do you have a nigga that shoot you all the old songs? Like, how do you find these beats, or how old samples?
I wish I had a person that dug for me. I mean, occasionally I have friends and people in the music business send me stuff occasionally, but it's mainly me and my love of music. You know, going through different record stores, digging according to, you know, musicians, record labels, etc., and just having the knowledge. I've been making music for 10 years now, and which is crazy to say. I started when I was 14. I'm 24 now, but you know, I've dug a lot. I've worked a lot on a lot of different things, and so you just acquire the knowledge over time. Like, okay, I know Polydor got Heat. I know.
Yeah.
I know Marvin Gaye wrote Musical Massage for Leon Ware. Like, I know. Like, little things you can pick over time. Like, you be like, oh, okay. You'll know that, okay, so official soundtracks, OSTs from the 70s, the Italian ones, like all the Italian movies, got crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Herbie scored this movie called Death Wish. The child's brain from that shit's like, you'll just pick up little shit like that over the course of time and eventually realize, like, okay, you know, it might be all this shit is playing. I actually did course this.
Have you ever came across a... My fault. What you saying?
No, I was rambling. Like, I was just...
Yeah, you good. No, I was saying, have you ever came across a sample like in a just wow way, like, I don't know, like you was, I don't know, like smashing a girl and like a commercial came on with a crazy sample and you was like, let me stop. Like, it was like, what's the craziest story?
I mean, not necessarily ever like a crazy story, but as of recently, it's the typical, like, I'm in a grocery store or like in an Uber and like they'll be playing something on the radio. I'm like, yo, I like ask my phone, like, Siri, what's this? But as of recent, the craziest one, I was walking into a record store and they, you know, record stores, they'll play music, and they was playing this one record, this Gamelan record or whatever, and I walked in within 10 seconds. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, what's this? They're like, oh, do we have the vinyl? And he's like, it's this. I was like, give me that. I was like, put that register. And for real? I was like, fuck yes. Like, put that in the register right now.
Have you used it yet?
Yeah, the beat not out, but I was playing on my Instagram story the other day. This shit hot as hell.
I can't wait for that. Last question about sampling. Just the request. I've never heard nobody flip this beat. I feel like it's one of my favorite songs from that 70s time period. You gotta flip Michael Henderson's Starship. You familiar with that?
Yeah, it's a good record.
It's a fire song.
I might have touched it.
Yeah, that's a fire song. Oh yeah. Also, lastly, you did a fantastic job on what you call it, Rhythm Roulette. That was fire. That was very fire.
I appreciate it. Oddly enough, I don't like my Rhythm Roulette.
Really? Why not?
Alright, so like the studio was dope. Piece of them, it was really nice. It wasn't my studio.
Oh, that wasn't yours? I thought it was yours.
Nah, I was in New York, so
okay.
I wasn't at home. I wasn't at a familiar studio. They didn't really have, things I was used to, like at least the setup I was used to.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like a fish out of water. We had to like record into the computer, and then I had to like take the sample from there. It just wasn't the most comfortable. But I made the most of it, and then I had to use a Crosley. I used a Crosley turntable, like one of those like Urban Outfitters turntables. Nothing against that.
Yeah, they gonna have to come to Chicago, man. They be coming to everybody else's city, man. They gotta come to Chicago. You gotta redo that.
I'm kind of pissed about that. I was like, y'all come everywhere else.
Hey, man, nigga scared or something, man. I don't know. Yeah, they gotta come to Chicago so you can knock out part 2, man. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it. It was fire. But I mean, fast forward from all the sampling and everything, like today, because you were talking about, you said you made that Roberta Flack flip in 2011. You said?
Yeah, the first time I flipped it. I mean, when I did the new album, I flipped it last year. Oh, damn. It's been a year. Yeah, so I flipped the other record, for the new album.
Well, I mean, fast forward today. I mean, from 2011 to now, what would you say is like the biggest difference you notice in your producing?
Well, two things really. It would be the use of musicians. So, like, I'm about to do this remix from Uncle 11 Kali, and I was trying out some different samples. But I was like, no, I'm gonna do this right. I got one of my homeboys coming up later to play keys, and I'm gonna essentially create a new sample from him playing keys and him composing, or like him playing and me composing, the keyboard playing and all that stuff. So I'll use musicians and compose from scratch now more than ever. And then my drums, which have always been like my strong suit, but my drums are way better than they were back then. I'll listen to old beats and hate them because they're like, I could have did this way better. And so occasionally I get people talking about, oh, can you make some stuff that sounds like 2013, like shit I made like from back then. I'll be like, yo, I'm way colder.
Yeah.
Way now than I was before. So asking me to do like the whole shit is kind of like, But yeah, so I would definitely say now, like drums and my ability to compose and produce musicians to create something brand new that feels and sounds like a sample, but it is completely new.
All right.
So I got this record on G Herbo's album. It's going to be insane. That people are going to be trying to figure out for the longest what's the sample. There's no sample.
Oh, it's no sample at all. Okay. Yeah, that nigga G Herbo was nice. G Herbo was fire.
His album is going to be lame.
That nigga's fire. I fuck with G Herbo. Yeah, shout out to G Herbo. Before we get into the fan questions, last question I like to ask everybody. Any because I know producers, they're more in the background rather than the artists always doing interviews and camera and whatnot. Any funny stories or crazy stories that you done had with artists just over the years that you've been doing music?
I know people are familiar with the 3-piece set thing I did with Kurt. So we did those 3 songs in one day, like in one studio session. It was like 6 hours, so we did like a song every 2 hours. I don't know if people know, but Currency smokes a lot of weed. But this is before I started smoking, before I was even thinking about smoking. Within the first hour, I had the munchies off contact. Like I went to the store.
Wow.
I grabbed mad random CVS snacks, and then we made the rest of the records. But that was hour 1, and so you can imagine 5 hours later, after the session, I'm completely fried.
Did you end up hitting the blunt?
Like I was just off contact, sitting there.
You was fried off contact? What the fuck?
It was. I mean, just don't stop smoking. And like, imagine somebody smoking and you're in close vicinity to them for 6 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's a long ass time to be, and you in one room at that too. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so 6 hours of being 5 feet from dude.
Okay, so when you high, are you making better beats or are you making more trash beats?
Oh, as of recently, I've tried making music while off the weed, and not bad.
Okay, go ahead. Because I know a lot of niggas they need that for the inspiration or whatever. But you wouldn't say you need that.
Definitely don't need anything for inspiration. I
Okay.
fucking love making music.
Okay, that's fire. Let's get into these fan questions. We out of here, man. First question. I am Jr. Love. He asks, will there be another PSG or a project with Dash? And how did you get in contact to do the Adult Swim singles?
Okay. I mean, essentially for Follow Sporting Goods, waiting on Wretch. But I just talked to my man Stevie, who works with the guys over there at Asian, and I might try to do some Follow Sporting Goods remixes, like on some Mad Lib shit, and bring it back out to the people. So working on that. Definitely on Dash's new project. I don't think it's gonna be a Dash project without me and him working together. That's my brother.
Okay.
From the jump.
He from Jersey too, ain't he?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Adult Swim, I've had an outstanding relationship with them for like 4 years now. They did promo for Wonder Kid, like aired my promos for Wonder Kid. So eventually, I just reached out to the person I've been in contact with for Adult Swim over in time, my man Jason. I was like, hey, we'd love to do one of the singles this year. And he's like, sure. And so crafted up a really amazing song with Joey Perk. And we might do another one for Adult Swim. It might be fun. So,
do you ever sit back and just think like, damn, I just called some like this guy from Adult Swim and he just agreed to like that's crazy. Like you ever just sit back and think like that's crazy?
Yeah, every time. My man's from Adult Swim. He's the person responsible for Villa and like all the guys in Stone Stone being on Adult Swim. So everything's kind of come crazy full circle in a sense where, you know, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Versus You, next question. Versus You asks, he produced a song for Capital Steez and Pro Era, which I think was one of Steez's last songs he ever made. As if he knew Steez and how good he actually was before he passed away.
Not crazy story, but I was hanging with one woman, Kimbe and Alice Wiley. This is a minute ago. This is like our first move exercise. It was like 2012. And Pro Era was in town. I had reached out to Joey when I heard Penny Ray, like before 1999 came out. So like, yeah, no, I'm usually the person that I kind of give myself a pat on the back where I look back at my track record in terms of artists I've worked with. A lot of artists I worked with before they got super huge, and now they have critical success. So it's like, okay, this person knows something. This person obviously has a good ear for artists that, you know, will have success or already have it. I feel as though I do a great job of finding rappers that I personally feel as though have a certain thing about them where I'm like, yo, this person's gonna be dope. And so I reached out to Joey. I known him. I like talked to him like on Facebook. This is how long ago it was. We was talking on Facebook. And so I mean, he was like, yo, we can't go link up with the Pro Era guys or whatever. He was come to the show, like meet up with them or whatever. I was like, sure. And I didn't tell Joey I was pulling up to their hotel or whatever. And I surprised him. And I was like, yo, what's good? He was like, what's up? Like, he didn't really know who he was. He was talking on Facebook. It was Thelonious. He was like, oh, dude, did he send you the beats and shit? Like, yeah. He was like, oh, what's up? And so I met, and Steve was there too. So I met Steve. Steve was a dope cat, G. Like, he had a great vibe, great energy. I sent him a beat, and I remember Joey was streaming. Like, this is like later. So like, they were like streaming one of their sessions or whatever. And so I chimed in, like, yeah, what's good, y'all? And they played the record with him and Steve, with Joey and Steve. And so it's still crazy to think that I'm involved in one of the last records that, you know, he's done, but it's a blessing. Like, dude,
very talented. Rest in peace, Steez. Last question from Young NATO. He says, hey, big fan, but I have to ask, who's your favorite porn star?
That's a really, really random and hilarious question. It changes. I joke a lot about wanting to win an AVN for music. It's, AVN is the adult.
Yeah. All the perverts know about that, huh?
Yeah, and so, favorite porn star. Tired by Isis Taylor, or
She was cool. She was cool. Okay.
I think Bella. She won the MVPs in Alexis, Texas.
I can't. I refuse. I refuse, man. Yep, that's the reason, bro. I can't do it, bro. Nope, bro. I can't do it, bro. I can't support it.
Like 30 ESPN segments where it's like, do we give her MVP or a Hall of Fame credentials if she never played Negro League?
Yeah, man. She ain't do her due diligence in the Negro League. I can't fuck with it, bro. She got to get out of here, man. I cannot fuck. Hey, I'll put Lisa Ann over her, man. That's a fact, man. That's a little funny fact, man. I'll put Lisa Ann over her. But hey, man. Before we close this out, anything else you wanna say before we leave, man?
Watch out for my project with Adonis. Got a lot of stuff on with Topaz Jones, and I don't know. Everybody be blessed. Have a real one. And, have a good day. Just keep it real positive and shit.
Hey, man, until next time, y'all already know I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, and players gonna play, man. Holla at your boy.